if you think you're going to put me into a nursing home, you've got another guest coming.
The thing I really take to heart is helping people out. This case here in Wyoming County is really, really serious, and it really affects me because, you know, I look at myself when I get older, I look at my parents when they get older, and I would imagine you would too. Would you want yourself or your parents in this position to be told by the county and state government that you can't decide to live the way you choose to live? Yes, the government, the Wyoming County government, collaborating with the state, is telling citizens that they need better care than what they're getting, even though they're totally happy the way the system is. There's approximately 3 people that have been virtually evicted, in my opinion, illegally. I took it upon myself to reach out to the County Board of Supervisors to try and fix the issue, and no one really wants to listen. My main website is wakeupny.net. I'm still working on it. Oh, it's always good to get funding. I'm an auto repair and mechanic on the side, so it's difficult to do this and share people and educate people what goes on in our system and why it's so dysfunctional. There's a reason why America is the way it is, people, is because your local governments are the problem. It starts local, not at the president level, not at the state level, at your county level, and it can be fixed very easily, but they don't want you to know that. So the website's geared more towards educating people on a local level on your jury system, what's going on with the Second Amendment. There's a committee of safety, your local committeemen, how they fix government. After hearing Barb's story, it is heartbreaking. It is heart-wrenching. There's a video I have coming up. I interviewed Barb for a good 20 minutes, and it's heart-wrenching to hear the story, what went on, what the Wyoming County government is trying to do to her and have already done to her and the other residents that are, I think, moving out next. They have to move out by tomorrow. She still has no place to go because they want to put her basically in a nursing home. If they put her in a nursing home, she's got to give up her dog, even though she's totally happy where she is. The state law stipulates, allegedly these illegal statutes, that if a nursing home doesn't meet, or a adult care facility or assisted living doesn't meet certain criteria, you can't choose to live in there. Even though your family wants you there, even though you love the care there, even though it's something you would love to be, it's against the law. You can't do it. And if you choose to try and protect your rights, a judge controlled by the state, Republican judge, I call them fake Republicans, will kick you out of your home and force you into a nursing home. In the future video, coming up, part 2 I have coming up here, Barb's going to state that she was actually in one of these homes in the county. They had one guy taking care of 40 patients. One guy, 40 patients. And yet they want to kick her out of where 3 people living in a ranch house with a care worker there able to take care of them. This is uncalled for. In the following clip here, it shows me walking into your Wyoming County Sheriff office to ask the sheriff to serve the Wyoming County Grand Jury, because your grand jury, which comprises of everyday people, can actually investigate public offices. It says it right in the New York State Constitution. The purpose of the grand jury is to investigate public offices. The beauty of the grand jury system and the trial jury system is that you get to use their heart to judge. You don't have to go off state statutes written by politicians, because our founding fathers understood that politicians can write bad laws. So they put laws of nature, nature's God, in our Declaration of Independence, and in the Bill of Rights, the 7th Amendment, they say the common law system, the meaning law that existed prior to the writing of the document. The common law is common sense because it was codified in the Magna Carta over 800 years ago. And it stipulated the grand jury and the trial jury system. And back in 1992, Antonin Scalia, Supreme Court Justice, stated that being the grand jury is only mentioned in the Bill of Rights, it's solely in the hands of the people as a buffer between the people and the government. It's not part of the judicial, executive, and legislative branch of government. It's in your hands. But you don't know that. And grand juries can actually fire their district prosecuting attorneys. They can write recommendations to government like they have in the past. I got plenty of case history to prove that. They can investigate any government, write a report, tell them we're not doing this, we're not enforcing this bad law. So all the power lies into the grand jury, but the problem is it opens this big Pandora's box. I actually have proof of the grand jury in downstate New York firing their prosecuting attorney. So it's a very powerful entity that can stop abusive county, state governments from usurping the rights of the people, exactly for situations like this, where they're trying to get great people out of great homes. Barb's in her 90s. And she's got to give up her pet. She has give up her pet. She has stated that she'd rather die than move, because this has been one of the best homes she's ever lived in. In December, I went to the County Board of Supervisor meeting to disturbingly find out that there's no public speaking at the meeting. I found that odd. I called the county and talked to the secretary of the county, the supervisors, and she said to speak, you need to go to a special committee and then they have to give you permission to speak. That's not freedom of speech. So she said, what you have to say, give me in writing and I'll put it in the agenda. They have a stack of paper for agenda. So I gave her the letter, and I gave her the letter to the grand jury that I wanted to get to the grand jury. And note, I was told by a Supreme Court judge and read documents where the grand jury belongs to us. And the judge I talked to says, well, you just draft a letter and give it to the grand jury foreman, send it certified mail anyway. So I went to the sheriff's department to serve that letter to the grand jury, and the sheriff refused to do it. Later to find out that the sheriff's kind of concerned about the law. He's afraid. It's understandable. You got these attorneys manipulating the law and scaring the heck out of people, and so they're afraid to do things. Think about it. We're afraid of these laws, even though they're unconstitutional, and we're afraid to act. And this is why a lot of the county governments are afraid to do anything. But they put this letter in the agenda of the meeting in December. I had my phone number. They didn't put the letter to the grand jury in there, and I didn't get no call. So I showed up at your next meeting here in January, and I knew there's a free speech issue and you couldn't speak to them, so I showed up minutes prior to the meeting, and here I addressed your county. And they weren't happy. I'm a little upset here that no one reached out to me in regards to this issue. They know how severe it is and how serious it is. Yeah, I needed to have the grand jury foreman served. I was here a few weeks ago, and they refused to serve this document.
So do you have his name as to who the grand jury person is? Because we're not privy to that either.
Nobody is. It's against the law. So I was
we
instructed by a Supreme Court judge. Okay. Now
I was instructed by the sheriff that
Yeah.
unless we know who we are serving, we unfortunately cannot serve them. He is out on the road at the moment.
Did someone call you guys? Did someone call you guys? No. Before the meeting. But we have families being kicked out on the street by a county judge. Because your health department decided that these people were not fit.
The problem is we have county government full of fake Republicans. Fake Republicans are ones that choose not to enforce our God-given rights. You think our founding fathers put law in place to allow judges to judge us? So you guys might as well give up, walk away from here, and allow the state government to run the whole county. Because as it stands right now, you're just clowns operating under state Democratic Party. You don't give a shit.
So this is the home where they live. It's a beautiful ranch home, nice back patio. It was kind of windy. It's fall time, but I can picture how nice it is. Can you imagine growing up or growing old in a home like this? See, a dog was outside. I let the dog in later on, but here I'm petting the dog. Nice bathroom. The place was very well kept. It was like living at home. And it just disturbs me that the government is telling these people they cannot live in this house anymore. It is unheard of. The only way I can think, people, is now getting you involved, voicing your opinion, calling all your local officials, calling your town supervisors, calling the county office, calling the sheriff, and if anything, time to elect new ones next time, because they can't even protect your rights locally.
Be here until I die, I guess.
So if the police show up What are you going to tell them?
And I will not move into a nursing home. You got another guest coming.
Tess Phillips, the Deputy Director of the Wyoming County Office of the Aging, and Paula Brickstand, the Wyoming County Office for the Aging, she's the fiscal officer. They both said there's nothing they can do when legally they're supposed to supply legal help to people like her, to help them legally what's going on. They were never served legally with a legal eviction, and an immigrant would have, squatters would have more rights than these people. But because the government has decided, they virtually have no rights and no defense, because the government is deciding what's the best for them. Part 2, we'll be doing, we have a fundraising link going to be connected to it, but if you'd like to donate now and offer help in any way, please reach out to me. My number is 716-998-2572. I will put it in the bottom of where this video is. So the website is wakeupny.net. And you can also text me on that number too. So any questions you have whatsoever about how to help, what to do, we are looking to bring the community together and try and resolve this issue to help these people that need it more than anything else. Thank you. Also, my video channel is here under David Mangello. I have a lot of good information educating people what really goes on in the grassroots, how you can get involved at a grassroots level and have a voice at a state and federal level. There's something they're not telling you local level. Your local politicians are choosing who the presidents are, the congressmen are, and they make them accountable too. But you're not sure, and you're never told how the system works. And this is what I get involved with.